Hey guys, today we're gonna make some jumprings using a dowel and a saw frame and some 18 gauge wire. So we've got this little spool of 18 gauge, my little dowel, my pin vise. I've already got a drill bit chucked in there, but got that guy right there. So this is the same thickness as the 18 gauge wire, which is great, but if you were making jump rings that were thicker than the 18 gauge, 16, 14, 12, then you would need a thicker drill bit. Okay, so I am going to use this number 60 drill bit. I'm gonna chuck it up. And I'm gonna drill a little hole. Now you could drill directly on your bench pin, but this one's already riddled. I really just like to drill into my little wooden board. So So I've drilled all the way through, easy peasy. I'm just gonna back it out. Now remember not to wobble your drill bit. I'm just gonna push into it just to make sure I've cleared all the sawdust out. And I've got my, wire. I'm gonna jam it in there. And then I'm gonna start to roll it around on my dowel. So, trying to be mindful and really snug it up to itself. The less space there is, and the tighter the coil, the easier it is going to be to cut your jump rings. So I'm just rotating my left hand with the dowel in it, and I'm using my thumb on my right hand to hold the wire down and guide it up against the rest of the coil. Your hands will get tired. Feel free to take a break. So you can go all the way down really, but I like it to be not too long. So I want to be able to control everything. Just gonna snug it down. And I'm gonna cut that tip off. So, I'm gonna drop that down. Cut that. So that hole, because that hole was used to hold the wire in place, and I'm gonna pull it off. Try not to twist it too much. I mean, I was like wobbling back and forth to like inch it off, but if you try to twist it like a bottle cap, then you can uncoil your coil, which is not good. So that's ready to get cut. I'm gonna take my saw frame and I'm going to stick my saw blade in there. So remember, the saw blade only cuts in one direction. One direction is smooth and the other will catch like a cat claw. It should all point down like a pine tree or cat claw. So I'm gonna take that, and with the saw blade sticking out, right? Out that way. I'm gonna tighten it in place. I want to make sure that it naturally falls around there. If it's sticking up like that, it's going to be really annoying to get the blade in place. There. And then I'm applying pressure with my left hand and I'm tightening with my right. And then I'm going to take my beeswax and I'm going to lubricate the back of the blade, not the front, right? Just the back of the blade. And then I'm going to take my coil and I'm going to really jam it up against the end of that bench pin. So we're applying a lot of pressure to hold it in place, but also to push it up against that bench pin. And then I'm going to start sawing. Nice, steady, slow motions. You can see that beeswax starting to come up. So I'm really being mindful. You don't want it to be so severe, like you're not cutting like this. So you're probably cutting maybe 2 to 3 jump rings at the same time. So I've already cut through a couple. Put that right there. I'm wearing an apron. I don't know if you can see. So that helps catch the flying jump rings. Please wear your apron. It's also going to produce dust. So you don't want that flying everywhere. If you can catch it in your apron, great. The coil will warm up because you are rubbing, you know, steel up against it over and over again. So just be mindful of that. The beeswax does help keep it cool a little bit longer. So keep looping up your blade. So I'm still applying constant upward and side to side pressure. You don't want to slip. You don't want to cut yourself. Oops, as I say it. So my coil is getting very small. Now, some people get lazy and they will cut their jump rings with a pair of cutters, which you totally can do. But especially when you're not soldering them shut, it makes it very, very, very difficult for them to stay closed and they look messy. So the best way is to saw it. Ooh, my hands are getting tired, so I'm gonna give them a little rest for a second. Yeah, if you are gonna make a ton of jump rings, really give yourself some time to spread it out because it can get really taxing. So I am cutting. I'm really being careful now. I'm slowing down. I literally have 1 jump ring left, I think. Yep, 1 jump ring to go through. So then I'm going to place it on my bench pin. You guys should have brand new bench pins, so it won't be as annoying as this one. So there, I've cut through it. Ta-da! That one is a waist. And I've got my apron full of metal dust and jump rings. Woohoo! I'm gonna add it to my other pile. So the way that we open and close jump rings, you guys have two pairs of pliers. You have your chain nose and your flat nose. So let me scooch this over a little bit. When you open and close your jump ring, you want to make sure to move it back and forth like that, right? What you don't want to do, well, so when you close it, it's the same motion, right? So it's like this. Now what some people want to do is they want to take this and spread it open. And now you've ruined your perfectly beautiful round jump ring, because now it's like weird and misshapen. And even if you try to get it back closed, it is deformed. So now I'm looking at it and it's weird and oblong-y, yucky. So when you open and close it, you want to make sure, and actually, personal preference, I like my flat nose on this side because I can grip it that way, and then my chain nose on this side. So if it needs a little bit of finagling, you can. And now we've got this like really wonderful jump ring where the, I don't know if you can, let's see if I can make it focus. Aha! So you can kind of see right there that the opening is there. But if I were to cut it with a pair of pliers, oops, then that's what it would look like. And it would have this yucky pinched edge, which will never go away. And, you know, it'll forever just be there. And that's not super attractive. There's also a cut in there, so. But yeah, that is how you make a jump ring. Easy peasy. And then we could take these and we could open and close them and link them together. I would close, if you're making a link thing, if you're making like a heavy link chain, I would use a thicker gauge wire. You can close all of these, and then I can slide 2 onto 1, and now I've got a 3-link chain. All right, thanks for watching.